Hello, my viewers. I welcome you all to another exciting edition of your program, The Gallery. My name is Mercy Alexander, and our guest today, he is the Deputy Governor of Kogi State, in person of His Excellency, Chief Edward David. Relax and enjoy the program.
Edward David Onoja is the Deputy Governor of Kogi State, Nigeria. He hails from Odikoko and Monyoku in Ogugu district of Olamaboro, local government area of Kogi State. He was the Chief of Staff to the Governor of Kogi State before assuming the office of the Deputy Governor of Kogi State on 21st October 2019. Edward became head of campaigns and chief strategist for the Yahaya Bello campaign organization. Being a passionate personality, is also youngsters into all the nooks and crannies of Kogi State canvassing for his candidate. Edward Onoja served as Chief of Staff to Yahaya Bello until his assumption as a Deputy Governor and was also appointed the Director General APC campaigns for the 2019 general elections in Kogi State. Edward Onoja made a clean sweep of all three senatorial seats in Kogi State. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, join Mercy Alexander as she takes us round the journey.
Now, sir, can you tell us about your journey from the banking sector to becoming a politician?
Journey from the banking sector to becoming a politician. Politics has been once my hobby, even before I started working. Right from my college days to my university days, we've been doing politics. I do politics myself by contesting, winning, and also championing others' aspiration by serving as their campaign managers, taking them around, and also getting victories for them, right from college through to the university. And of course, after university into banking, we needed to still continue in the act of politicking. So in 2011, I ventured to the political terrain, running for the House of Assembly slot in my local government, Olamaboro constituency, under the ANPP, then All Nigerian People's Party. I secured the ticket of my party to fly the flag. I did, but it was unsuccessful. That was in 2011. And 4 years afterwards, we came for the big job. And to God be the glory, under the All Progressive Congress, my friend, principal, and boss and brother, His Excellency Alhaji Yahaya Bello, at 40, became the Executive Governor of Kogi State, fourth Executive Governor of Kogi State. And on the day of his swearing in, he made me his Chief of Staff. And that's how it's been.
So, who inspired your political interest?
Who? I would say Late Nelson Mandela.
Wow.
Whose quest started even whilst he wasn't free, while he was behind the bars, and all his struggles. It's someone I studied, I read about, and he really motivated me to go for it with one of his greatest quotes: "It's always impossible until it is done."
Okay. What has always been your achievement so far as a politician? What is it that you can say, okay, I've been able to do this and I'm happy?
Working for my boss and principal, we redefined governance and politics in Kogi State from what I would call family business to real people governance, from what I would call the elite class kind of governance to the people's governance, from what I would call the usual suspect kind of politics, where you have the regular names always making decision, to youthful governance, where anybody can become somebody under the leadership of our boss and principal, His Excellency Elijah. So all this rejuvenation and reorientation is things that are not physical, but attitudinal, and a shift from what used to be. And today in Kogi, people know that anything is possible.
Now, Your Excellency, sir, how will you rate Nigerian development at 61? How will you rate Nigeria?
If you want me to rate how we've done so far as a country, I will tell you that comparatively, we've not done badly. When you compare us with countries that have been centuries old, like the United States of America, whose self-independence has been for centuries. We are yet to hit 100 years. But within these 61 years, we have survived so many things. At least, we've survived a civil war, and then several intercation of a democratic setting by the military juntas. So, we had the First Republic intercepted by military coup. We had the Second Republic intercepted again by another military coup. We had the Third Republic in 1979, intercepted again in 1983 by a military coup. And by 99, another the Fourth Republic that brought in President Olusegun Obasanjo, that is presently in its 22nd year. It's the longest we have stayed in a civil democratic rule without the interjection or interjection by the military juntas. And I can tell you that within this long stay under the democracy, there's been the ability to keep Nigeria one in spite the rearing up of agitations, separatist calls, disintegration threats, and the rest of them. We've still been able to keep ourselves together. But within this period, one thing that stands as a sore thumb in our history is the rising insecurity, at least in the last 12 years, but that recently, in the last 2 months or thereabouts, there's been a coordinated attempt by the government of President Muhammadu Buhari to ensure that those who take arms against the state do not have their way, and that there are consequences when you take arms against the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I think that is sending a great signal to would-be troublemakers in the future. With that, I can say, but for the insecurity, we've done well so far.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Now, sir, what do you have to say about the Northern governor not agreeing with the fact that they should zone the presidency to the south?
Why did you start with the Northern governors? What you would have asked is the tug of war between the Southern governors and the Northern governors, because there's no smoke without fire.
Okay.
I think it's the Southern governors that came publicly to say power must return back to the South. The word is must. And I think that's what the Northern governors actually frowned at. Okay. Because politics is choice. Politics is played by free will. And when you now say something is a must, it's becoming dictatorial. And I think that's the word that the Northern governors have actually frowned at. Okay. Because you are actually saying, go against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that says that anybody with certain qualifications is eligible to run for any office under a political party. When you now say must, You are simply saying that the system should go against the Constitution. I think when you agitate for such things, the best option is to agitate for it through negotiations, through dialogue, bringing all your data, statistics, facts. They call it moral suasion, persuasive arguments. Once you do that, the other end would say, there's some sense in what you're saying. But when you make it a fiat, nobody would like to be seen to be cowered into a corner for anything to happen. I think that's why. But I believe that there would always be political solutions to everything that rises, because ultimately it boils down to the political parties and their choices. And political parties have one thing as their goal: to win in an election. Yeah. So once you look at the statistics and you look at the facts and the analysis, political parties would make choices that ordinarily would give them an advantage and a leverage to getting victory in an elections. So it boils down to the strategic acumen of each political party going into the next election.
Thank you so much. Who will be your most preferred candidate come 2023 presidential election?
My most preferred candidate. You know, you need to recommend what you know. If you know you're the product, you can recommend the product.
You're very correct.
You need to be informed of what you want to recommend. For Nigerians, you need to have experienced what you want to recommend. For instance, if you tell me to sell a product, say a detergent, and there could be 20 types of detergents. It is the one that I've used and I've seen its action that I can recommend. So if you ask me who would be my preferred candidate, I would first give you the criteria that I'll be looking for in a president. Criteria number one: I want a president that will not shove his religion down my throat. That is, a president that will be balanced religiously. Respect my faith, I respect your faith. Secondly, I would want a president that will not treat me because of the language that I speak, treat me negatively because of the language that I speak, because I didn't choose to be my tribe. God made me Igala. God made another person an Igbo man. God made another person a Fulani man. God made another person an Ishakiri man. And we are all human beings. I want a president that will see all of us as human beings, as citizens of Nigeria, who have and equal right to the goodness and benefits of the nation called Nigeria. That's two. Thirdly, I belong to the demography below 50. I don't belong to the demography above 60, who ordinarily, by global practice, should be guiding the next generation on how to take charge of their affairs. So I belong to that demography, and I want to see a president who is within that my demography, so that we could relate on the same table. So I wouldn't want someone who sees me as a son. I might not be able to take my counsel or my advice. That's another thing. So I'm looking for a youthful president. Fourthly, I want to see a president who is not gender biased, but gender sensitive. You are male, you are female. He believes that you've got the brain and you can add value in your capacity and character to the society and give you the opportunity to do so. That's 4. Another thing I want to see in my president is courage. In the face of insecurity, you need a bold, courageous commander-in-chief who wouldn't give an inch to people who take arms against the state. So I want to see a president that is going to come head on against criminalities and criminals and ensure that they are nowhere within the boundaries of our nation called Nigeria. I want to see that kind of a president. Again, I want to see a president that is physically and mentally fit. Because the job of building this nation to the point that you and I would say, yes, we're proud of Nigeria, demands extra hours, demands mental exercise, demands physical presence, demands one who will roll up his sleeve, get into the mud to get the job done. I want to see that kind of president. So, having said all this, and I also want to see a president that can decipher what is wrong from what is right. One who's got some experience on the job of being a chief executive of a state or an entity that has the similitude like a state. I want someone who's got hands-on experience in leadership. Once you put all these factors together and present such a person, I can tell you to go to sleep, Nigeria will get it right. But if you want me to recommend somebody with that character, somebody that ticks all these boxes, you don't need to go far.
Okay.
My principal, His Excellency Alhaji Yahya Dozebolu, ticks all these boxes.
Wow. That's
And if anyone has a different view of it, we can debate it. Because facts is what you use in debating.
yeah.
So I recommend to you Alhaji Yahya Dozebolu. I think and I believe that once he becomes the commander-in-chief of this country, all these boxes that I've ticked are the critical issues with our nation. And once we get that right, we can go home and say, yes, a new Nigeria is here for the good of all of us and our future generation.
Thank you, sir, for that. After this position, what will be your next move in politics?
Like I've always said, I believe in the divine direction of my Creator. I believe in the fact that once God gives you an opportunity and you do very well with that opportunity, you can only get elevated. It's normal. Even human beings do that. You give a man a responsibility, he excels in the responsibility, you would elevate him to a bigger and higher responsibility. So definitely, rather not speak too deeply about that, I would say to you, our focus is first things first. We don't want to put the cart before the horse. The thing on our burner is the general elections of 2023. Right?
Yeah.
Good. And we want our party to come up with the right candidate to win for us so that we can remain in the center as the ruling party. Once that is done, the future, like I said, remains in the hands of the Almighty. But definitely, elevations are all the desires of every man.
Thank you so much.
Myself inclusive.
Thank you so much, Excellency, sir. So what is your advice to the Nigerian youth? Because when you look around these days, the youth believe politics is where you just make money and everyone just want to go into it without having the agendas or ideas that will impact the people. What is your advice to the Nigerian youth who believe politics is just a money-making machine?
Take example of my boss and myself. Politics wasn't our first career. He's a seasoned entrepreneur. He cut his teeth very well in the Nigerian civil service, rose through the ranks. I also am an entrepreneur and also served for 10 years in the financial sector. through two banks, Guarantee Trust Banks and Access Bank, rose to the rank of manager, and then moved into the oil and gas sector as general manager, exploration production of an international oil company, before venturing into politics. So my advice for young people is you've got to get some experience. You've got to hone your skills of managing people and resources in other sectors. And once you've done that, for probably a minimum of 10 years, you can venture. If you venture, that antecedent and experience would guide you to always deliver on your mandates. So you don't just leave school and say you are a politician. You must toe a line to garner experience. You must toe a path to garner people management skills. And then you can then throw up yourself for public service. That's my advice for young people.
This is my last question, which I was supposed to ask people. You've been in first the banking sector, and you venture into politics. And politics, I tell people, is not a child's game. What has been your challenges, and how have you been able to overcome these challenges?
Politics is quite interesting and intriguing. Politics is a place you need to know that not all you see or hear is real. You've got to be deep. You've got to be an excellent mind reader. And you've got to conceal your feelings. But most importantly, you need to put the people as your number one priority in all you do. Your actions, your decisions, what you say, the people must be your number one priority. It is, like I said, interesting and intriguing. We've learnt a lot in it. We're still learning more in politics. But politics is the only way to make society and life better for your people. So if you feel the people, you definitely need to have interest and participate in politics. Because if you don't, you would only be a murmurer without taking action. Politics gives you the platform to take actions, to right the wrongs and better the society. So for me, I would say to you, politics is good, and I recommend it for people to participate in it.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, sir, for your time. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Wow, I am sure you all have learned a lot from our guest today. Like he said, for you as a youth to become great in life, or you want to venture into politics, you need to work very hard. You need to learn so many things to become successful, because for you to see the likes of them today in power, they have their story backing them up. I still remain your host, Mercy Alexander. Bye and have a wonderful weekend.